So it's amazing to me how much um how much stuff just shows up in the news nowadays. And before it just seemed like um I feel like you lost some of the things that make life worth living. We got to a point, like almost like it was a peak and we started to drop. We started to fall off the horse. But I think the enthusiasm that everybody has has kind of helped rejuvenate I can't even say American spirit, I should say humanity. Now, this is one thing that has interested me for a long time because we don't know if anyone went to the moon or to any place outside of the outer orbit of Earth. So I'm going to play this video. Tell me what you guys think.
From continuous manned presence on the moon, and obviously how far off until we can get any manned presence. As you said, it'll have to be at least 2 years on Mars.
Yeah, no, I think we're probably within 10 years of having continuous manned presence on the moon. The President's Space Policy Directive 1, and this is very exciting. He says we're going back to the moon. This time, the word is sustainably, but what that means is we're going to stay. So right now, we're building a space station, we call it Gateway, that's going to be in orbit around the moon. Think of it as a reusable command module where we can have human presence in orbit around the moon. From there, we want reusable landers that go back and forth to the surface of the moon. We think we can achieve this in about 10 years. The idea being prove the capability, retire the risk, prove the human physiology, and then go on to Mars.
What do you think of?
Okay. So we're going back to the moon, right? We're going back to the moon, and we're staying. Great. Okay, what are we going to do on the moon? What the hell are we going to do on the moon? Name one good reason why I should give a shit about going to the moon and staying. What's the difference between going there and staying? What is there, first of all, that is so important for us to send people there and try to live on the moon? I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be pretty badass to live on the moon. But there's no way in hell that this is gonna happen. First of all, you think about Star Wars. Was a plan devised by Ronald Reagan to bankrupt the Soviet Union. Star Wars didn't exist. It was never created, but the Soviet Union thought that it was, and they went bankrupt because of it. This is a ploy, again, by America to convince people that excuse me, I do this shit way too late. To convince people that we are still a dominant power, that we're able to do things that other countries can't do. Maybe we do it with some other country to prove our alliance. I don't know, but it just seems weird, like why go back to the moon after what was it, almost 60 years. Excuse me, 50 years. I don't know. Maybe it's for real this time. Maybe not. But I want to move on to next article. South Korea has successfully tested a space rocket engine. So, excuse me, guys. Here's the thing about this. I was under the impression that South Korea was one of the most highly developed countries in the world, and for them to just now finally testing a space rocket engine blows me away. They have some of the most advanced technology on the planet, and they're just now testing a space rocket engine? See, this is the kind of stuff that blows me away. Little things that people don't really look at, like, wow, South Korea finally tested an engine. Yep, they sure did. And I guess it's not that really a big of a deal, per se, because they're just getting started. How did North Korea get a rocket engine before South Korea? This makes no sense. And it makes you wonder, what the hell is going on in this world? And people like me and people on the internet, you can't put all... Excuse me. How do you go to bed? You can't put all the pieces together by yourself or with the internet. You can't get a bunch of people together, researchers or whatever, put the puzzle together. You'll never get a full picture. You'll never understand. I wish you could. I wish I could. But if it were that easy, everybody would know. And we would be one with the universe and a sentient being, or whatever the hell you want to call it. You'd be God, if you will. Yahoo's All Sides campaign accused of fear-mongering and moral relativism. As part of the marketing campaign for its news app, Yahoo unveiled various ads presenting two sides of the various hot-button social issues as equal. One particular ad featuring immigrants and dangerous text in being met with backlash, some readers used a strategy to create a satirical meme version of the campaign. So I guess that's what it looked like. Which is actually interesting because Yahoo is owned by a Japanese firm now. It's no longer an American company. It says, with our devised news partners and original reporting from our team of journalists, the new Yahoo News app provides multiple perspectives to help you see all sides of the story. Download it today. Now, this is actually kind of interesting because this just shows that we're not done with progress. Okay? The fact that I'm able to see both sides of the story is actually quite interesting. But you also have to take into consideration that this is showing red and blue of everything as perspective. So they're still within the left-right paradigm. Nothing outside the box, obviously. And it's unfortunate because on one side of the coin, yeah, now I get to see a liberal point of view or whatever, and a conservative or Republican point of view. in one place, which is great. But that's all you get. And to me, that's worthless. Article number 3. California Democratic Party chair resigns amid sexual misconduct probe. I see a lot of these. Whether it's congressmen or, Catholic priests. It says California Democratic Party Chairman Eric Brahman announced Thursday that he plans to resign following cascade of sexual harassment allegations that emerged against him in recent days. Let's see where they came from. Here's a short video.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kenny Choi.
And I'm Michelle Griego. This is your Picks Now update.
Holiday shopping is in full swing, and today is another busy day for shoppers. Our Katie Nielsen is at the Amazon Fulfillment Center in Tracy to give us a sneak peek behind the curtain on this busy Cyber Monday.
Here at the Amazon Fulfillment Center in Tracy, they basically say Cyber Monday is like their version of the Super Bowl. We've heard some great deals going on. We've got
video from Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, you name it. It's only $34 today. Also a really good.
The same woman accused Foster of hitting her in Los Gatos in February. She later took back that allegation. Hours after the latest arrest, the 49ers tweeted they were releasing Foster. The team says it has a zero tolerance policy for domestic violence.
Okay, lawmaker is calling for the removal of chair of the California Democratic Party, who has been accused of sexual assault and sexual harassment, with the allegation prompting investigation. Representative Ro Khanna, Democrat, called the allegations against Brahman shocking and urged the party to replace him with Stanford law professor Michael Dauber, who led the recall of former Santa Clara County Judge Aaron Persky. Now, here's the thing. This guy, Ro Khanna, he is he's pushing Ocasio-Cortez, Green New Deal, or whatever the fuck it is she calls it, some bullshit, to try to get people to submit to carbon taxes, which is never gonna work. But I digress. So this guy gets put out, and Ro Khanna is trying to man this ship and put somebody who is probably going to support the Green New Deal in his place. It should be interesting. But the whole Green New Deal is very annoying, if you will, to me, because I know the whole climate change, carbon tax bullshit is a scam. But it's unfortunate because this guy probably didn't even have any sexual misconduct. He's probably just being alleged, and then this guy, throwing it out on social media, blowing it out of proportion. And I've seen this guy. This guy gets, he might get 30,000 likes on a tweet. Like, that's no shake of a stick. So, something to definitely keep your eye on. And on to the next. Hasbro trolls millennials with Monopoly version, replacing real estate with vegan bistros. I just thought this was kind of funny. What Hasbro's Millennial Monopoly says, forget real estate, you can't afford it anyway. Hopefully, they'll be donating the proceeds to student debt relief, which is why millennials can't afford real estate. Monopoly for baby boomers, where you buy property for below value price. Only people of color go to jail, and when you pass go, you get to complain about millennials. Okay, I'm not gonna read these because that kind of made me depressed. This guy's stupid. Who is this? Not all baby boomers are racist. Excuse me. But the article goes on to say, who would have guessed that creating a board game that mocks millennials for being triggered so easy would, wait for it, trigger millennials? That's exactly what happened when Hasbro released its millennial Monopoly game. The shot at the age 22 to 35-year-old demographic hilariously has removed the real estate from the game, stating on the front box, "Forget real estate, you can't afford it anyway." On the box, Monopoly Man is wearing earbuds, sunglasses, and donning a participation taking a direct stab at millennials who believe that everybody is a winner. He's shown holding a coffee cup and standing out in front of a building that looks like a mock-up of a Whole Foods. I just thought this article fucking was hilarious when I saw it. Because they would do something like that. There's a monopoly for everything else, so fuck it, why not, right? Anyways, on to the next. This was actually an article that I found on Twitter that was retweeted by Ted Lieu. I'm not a big fan of Ted Lieu, to be honest, but that's just my opinion. Siberian unicorn walked Earth with humans. A giant rhino that may have been the origin of the unicorn myth survived until at least 39,000 years ago, much longer than previously thought. Known as a Siberian unicorn, the animal had a long horn on its nose and roamed the grasslands of Eurasia, so like somewhere around Russia area, but like Moscow, Russia, like under that, like Southern Europe, or Eastern Europe. So basically they're trying to say like the unicorn myth might have been just a misinterpretation and a change throughout time. Talking 39,000 years. I can't even imagine how long ago that was. But there it is. Siberian unicorn. So crazy things. Every day. Every single day. There is new and amazing things. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Minimum wage doesn't cover the rent anywhere in the U.S. A minimum wage worker would have to put in lots of overtime to be able to afford a modest 2-bedroom apartment anywhere in the country, and downsizing to a 1-bedroom pad barely helps. Even with some states hiking pay for those earning the least, there are still nowhere in the country where a person working a full-time minimum wage job can afford to rent a decent 2-bedroom apartment, according to an annual report released Wednesday by the National Low Income Housing Coalition. Even the $15 an hour wage touted by labor activists would not be enough to make housing affordable in the overwhelming majority of states. Coalition found nationally someone would have to make $17.90 an hour to rent a modest 1-bedroom for $22.10 an hour to cover a 2-bedroom place. Renters across the country earn an average hourly rate of $16.88. The report estimated a finding that illustrates how even folks earning more than the minimum wage scramble to pay for housing. Now, first of all, never trust anyone that uses the word folks. I know it sounds crazy. But don't do it. The finders are based on the standard budgeting concept of not spending more than 30% of one's income on housing. The nation's costliest housing is in Hawaii, where one would need to earn $36 and roughly $75,000 a year to be able to rent a modest two-bedroom. The state's minimum wage increased to $10.10 an hour this year, so you would have to make literally almost 4 times that. That's insane. I can say for firsthand, like, I'm in California and the housing cost here is insane. But sometime earlier this year, the housing market pretty much popped. People don't realize this yet because it hasn't affected people who have pre-existing contracts and things like that. But like, I was moving right in the middle of when it like popped, and so the place I was living in was like really expensive, and I was like, God damn, I need to find a better place. And then because the prices came down so much, I was able to find a good place for a relatively inexpensive price, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. I can't even believe this right now. But if you go downtown where I'm at in Sacramento, and it's like, there's houses for rent all up and down there because people aren't willing to drop the prices, and nobody's willing to pay that price. Meanwhile, you have 120,000 people commuting from Sacramento to the Bay Area. So, it's just a freaking crazy thing going on. And hopefully this works out. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but hey, fuck it, why not? Here's a video that I've ended up finding, and it just blew me away because I was like, what in the hell did I just watch? If I can get this thing to load.
He's off. Looking good. Step! Pull your feet in! Oh, dancing! Oh, whoa! Is he alright? Oh, no way! Yeah!
So, this freaking car almost just hit his ass. First of all, you should never go down a hill in a donut, whatever that is. I don't even know what the hell that is. Some kind of inner tube. Never do that. Never go down a hill in an inner tube. And secondly, never go down a hill in an inner tube over a fucking road. Dumbass. Who does that? Alright, going on to the next one. Ex-Trump lawyer Cohen pleads guilty in new charge relating to Russia-Trump tower deal. Breaking. Michael Cohen pleads guilty for lying to Congress about the Trump real estate project in Russia. Breaking. Michael Cohen, President Trump, former president, personal attorney, pleads guilty to lying to Congress about Trump real estate project in Russia. AP reports. Cohen admits making false statements. Blah, 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 blah. People are saying that he did this, right? He's like, I'm going to lie. I'm going to go to jail for lying so that they can't get me on anything else. I don't know what else they would have. But I'm guessing that this was his out. They got him. It made Trump look bad, but it didn't do really anything, right? It just makes it seem like Trump surrounds himself with some shady people, and that's exactly what he was trying to avoid. So I don't know what's going to come of this particular incident with Michael Cohen, but this he has been in the news a lot, and I never really followed it because it was one of those things that kind of just like, I don't really need to pay attention to this. Like, Michael Cohen was like a financial advisor or a lawyer or something like that, and it just seems kind of ridiculous that he would have been involved in anything, as far as politics go, or excuse me, as far as politics goes, or even what Trump was doing either on the campaign trail or as a president after being elected. I wish the guy the best of luck, but I'm pretty sure he just fucked himself, and he did it for good reason. I mean, look at this guy. He knows he is fucked. Totally fucked. There's nothing he can do. Now, Trump can pardon him after the fact, but I mean, imagine having to be in jail for another 2 years. That would just kill me. It's like, no way. I would never. This is why I'm a law-abiding citizen who doesn't do that stuff. Who doesn't try to get away with something illegal. That's stupid. It cracks me up because, like, marijuana is legal in California, and I'm like, I don't even want to go into the clubs because it's like, okay, it's legal, yeah, but it's still federally illegal, and so I'm like, I can't go in there. I can't just go in and fucking buy some weed and smoke it. It's ridiculous. It's not like alcohol or anything like that. So, Michael Cohen threw in the towel. He's done. He's over it. Fuck it. I'm done. On to the next. Blade Runner. Anime series being produced by Adult Swim and Crunchyroll. And I was like, oh wow, Blade Runner, badass. I fucking love synthwave music and that whole like post-apocalyptic technology, advanced technologies, and cybernetics and all this cool stuff. It makes for a great story, makes for a very interesting visual. You're able to use bright colors and lights and different things like that. And so having a Blade Runner anime series, I think it's gonna be badass. I really do. And I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. I'm really interested in that. And then I see it's from the creators of Cowboy Bebop and the Ghost in the Shell. I'm like, mother, are you serious? Dude, Cowboy Bebop in itself, okay? Like, come on. They might as well just throw Trigun in there and call it a day. It would be the fucking Trinity of Terror. I mean, it would be the best goddamn anime ever made. I'm actually looking forward to this big time. 13-episode series directed by Shinji Aramaki, who directed Appleseed Films and Kenji blah 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 Ghost in the Shell. Standalone concept series. Additionally, Cowboy Bebop director. something or other is acting as Black Lotus creative producer. Takes place in 2032. It says it's 17 years before Blade Runner and 10 years after Blade Runner Blackout 2022. A 15-minute prequel anime episodes Blade Runner 2049 that Watanabe blah 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 directed. Aramaki also worked on 2022 as a mechanical designer. There's no set release date for the series. Production will reportedly begin once Aramaki and Kimiyama are finished directing their reboot of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex series, which was announced in 2017. So it sounds like it's in the works, but they don't really know what the fuck they're doing, or at least they don't have that type of information. It's not set in stone, but I am definitely looking forward to this for sure. Last but not least, Laura Loomer. Okay. Laura Loomer made or was making a point, and what she decided to do as a protest was lock herself to the what the hell you call it, the headquarters for Twitter. So she locks herself to the Twitter headquarters in protest because Twitter banned her off of the platform. Now, here's the thing. When you are a creator, and let's say I am the Stark Ages, right? And YouTube decides, nope, we no longer support the Stark Ages, we're done. Okay, fine. Then I will no longer be using your services, and I'll be using BitChute or DTube or what the hell is that called? Tumblr or Facebook or whatever it is. There is always going to be a way. And if they ban you off of all those platforms, which BitChute I would imagine would never do, among other platforms, would not do. You always have a way. There will always be a way for information to go around. There will always be a way for people to express themselves. And there will always be a way for humanity and the human identity and the knowledge to get passed around, to be distributed. People who seek knowledge will find knowledge. If you look, you will find, and that is the most important thing that you could take away from this video. Never stop learning, and you will always find knowledge if you seek it out. And make a conscientious effort to support independent platforms such as BitChute, DTube, Steemit, Tumblr. Tumblr's not independent, but it's better. And among other things that you can use. But she'll find her way. You know? What is she gonna do? Nothing. There's nothing going to be done by this. This isn't going to change anything. It's not going to put pressure on Twitter to put her or reinstate her account. It's not going to happen. Twitter does what Twitter wants, as well as all the other social media platforms or platforms in general. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing I could do if Facebook or Google Plus or whatever the hell it is there's nothing I can do to stop them from removing me from the platform. I would have to create my own platform, in which case I would literally be sharing links and disseminating links to other people, and then they would disseminate it on their accounts, so on and so forth. To be honest with you, it's crazy because like I think about Alex Jones all the time. I'm like, I wonder what Alex Jones is doing. You know, he's like that old friend that you haven't talked to in like 40 years. You're like, oh, you know what? I haven't seen this guy in forever. I wonder how he's doing. I don't know. I hope he's doing all right. Yeah, I see him on BitChute. Cracks me up, man. He is like the master of titling videos and like making thumbnails. I love seeing his thumbnails. They're so dramatic. But yeah, this is just one of those like publicity kind of like, there's to make people aware that they're silencing. I don't know if she's conservative or whatever, but if she's conservative, great. If she's liberal, great. I don't care. My point is that they're censoring her. They're censoring her ideas. They're censoring her thoughts and her, her perspective. And that's what I like to do. Is I like to get some perspective on different things. And personally, I wouldn't have chained myself to a building. But what the fuck do I know, right? I'm not Laura Loomer. And certainly not #1 trending on Twitter. Nor do I want to be. I like being in, lurking in the shadows of the internet. But anyways, I'll leave all these links in the description. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, share. I'm going to bed. It has been one of those days, and I'm sure it'll be one of those mornings, but still here, right? And I'll see you all in the next one.